Here we are, the last in my series of Christmas cards, and this one using rubber stamps. Now it's a die pad rather than a pigment pad. So ink your stamp and stamp the image onto the card. Stamps provide a quick and easy image, and this Santa sleigh one is ideal. Clear wax is pretty much always used over stamps, and then use translucent colour rather than opaque colours. So don't use white, but use things that you can see through when they spread onto the card. So the yellow, the neon pink, the blues, they're good. And you can see the stamp shows up very, very clearly. Now what I'm doing is just working a very quick card here to show you the basic idea. So it's almost like a landscape, it just happens to be in this blue colour. And that's your first result. It's as easy as that. So I'm sticking with the Santa sleigh. This time I'm speeding up the loading of the iron to save you time watching. But you can see it's the same basic configuration. Lighter colours over where the stamp's going. Clear wax on first, of course, and that weakens the colour. Now wriggling the iron. Now by wriggling the iron you get that lovely ripple effect. And then it's the same thing, using the edge of the iron to create the sort of mountains, the white mountains. And I'm going to do a whole bunch of these going both ways. So I'm making mountains pulling from left to right and from right to left. Different angle there for you. And the idea here is just to give somewhere for Santa to be flying over. And then create a border. This is very standard in encaustic, and I've just speeded it up. And you can see a nice thick border at the bottom gives a bit more body to it. So that's my second one. Now for this one, again, always starting with clear wax on the iron, and then building up your colour range so that you've got stronger colours on the outsides. And what that does is it helps to hold the stamp in place. If you have very weak colours on the edges, then it doesn't give such an impactful thing. And I'm working both ways here because I don't want to sweep all the wax off in one direction all the time. I've got a nice bit of light in the background there, so I'm going to start with my mountains. And here I am working across the card, back again, but I'm going to fill that in a minute so you'll see. Turn the iron other way up. So now I've got the triangular back edge from the square edge of the iron. I can use this triangle part and create rooftops. So here I'm making Santa flying over the rooftops. There's lots of houses in this little village. And then putting the square of the iron and pulling straight down gives a sort of feeling of roofs long ways. Put in some chimneys with the stylus. And it's a card, so it doesn't have to be too particular, too clever. It's just about getting the message over. And this is a seasonal message, obviously. Sometimes lining the chimneys and the rooftops. And now I'm just using silver to add in some smoke effect. Same again, since I've started using silver, I'm using it to create a sort of a frame, and then giving Santa a bit of a red coat. And of course, don't forget Rudolph's nose. Quick polish. And there we have Santa flying over the village. Everyone's waiting for him. On to the Nativity now, and here I've got yellow, brown, blue. And this creates quite a nice backdrop for the Nativity stamp. And again, I'm looking for nice light right behind the manger area. And I'm just going to do a simple border all the way around, because that's the easiest way to begin a card. We're going to seal it now, so I'm making a pad, a sort of a ball out of a piece of fabric, cotton fabric, and then using the wax sealer. You need about this much sealer on your piece of fabric. Old t-shirt is quite good. And then just scumble it on, just sort of get it all over the card best as you can. I've polished the card first, remember. And then the important thing is to finish by dabbing with the piece of fabric. So this fabric ball is dabbing, and what that does is it creates little sort of dimpled results that where a brush would give you lines, this gives a much more smooth finish. So let's do another one. Nativity. Light colours in the middle, darker colours around. I'm just wondering, where shall I put it? You know, even after years of doing this, there's still that question comes into your mind of uncertainty, and you just have to sort of go with the flow. Here we are, I've got some nice light there. It's landed behind my crib. Bit of dabbing, And this time, instead of just a straight border, I'm doing a sort of stable cave type of border, some darker colour on the bottom there just to hold it in so that the eye is focused into the cave. And now I'm going to heat and wipe. Remember, you can always take colour off the card, just heat and wipe. Stylus, just to strengthen that line and make it more apparent. And then some decor. It's a Christmas card after all, so silvery wax is good. And just some random shapes and some splattering. I always like to splatter. And red is a nice festive colour, so it sort of lifts the card up and gives it a bit more excitement. Now, making the yarn into a mini hot plate, putting on some silver wax, I can do edging again. So on this edging I'm using silver to create a little bead of wax colour around each edge. And it gives a nice effect. Cleaning the yarn surface off, and then just take it and put it back into an iron shape as soon as you can. And then just give it light polishing. And again, take the pad and scumble the sealer on, and then do the dabbing. So this dabbing is the key. It's what avoids getting marks. If you use a brush, you can often get lines, and that can be frustrating. So this way, it sort of dries into an almost non-reflective surface. You can see the little dimples there. It's still wet. But it dries and still holds the sheen of the wax. But now it's a really good thing to do. Great for greetings cards. So here now we've got wise men. Got to have some of those at Christmas, if you can find any. And I found these ones. And so I'm just going over and I'm going to do a very simple card. And I'm working right across the stamps, if you notice. The point of the iron creating those sand dunes is going right across. And the key thing is going to be to make sure that the camels have got somewhere to stand. So I've put dark colour at their feet. Very simple card, but very effective. Same sort of thing, same sort of colourings again, light in the middle, darker at the outside, always using clear wax. Sometimes, even the best of us sort of get a bit lost. So I went over this card numerous times, and you can see it sort of gets murkier and muddier as I went along. But I'm never put off by that, because there's always an opportunity for something. So again, just make sure that the camels have got somewhere to stand. That's key. And then I'm putting on my border, and I thought, well, it's a bit murky, I can put a star in here. So they're following the star, and the lead guy is pointing on the camels. So I'll just do a few more dabbed stars here, and then we'll have a nice scene for our wise men. Bit of gold on their cloaks and some gold lining, gold edging, and there we are, pointing at the star. Fir trees, that's another good Christmassy thing. And here what I've done is I've printed the tree stamp on, and then I've sort of printed it again and again until it ran out of ink, and then I did a bit more. And now I've got sort of sky colours at the top and greenier, darker colours towards the bottom, a little bit of dabbing, and I'm simply going to put a dark edge around this, so running the edge of the yarn through a block of wax, and then running it about half a centimetre over the edge of the card. Gives a nice strong holding. Developing it with some colours. So I'm just taking one of the trees and I'm just decorating one of the trees as my Christmas tree, and then echoing that down the edge of the border using the stylus for a bit of silver. The final card in this series, and the final thing in this little Christmas card series, is the fairy with the candles. I already showed her a little bit in the candle sequence, but on the second stroke, did you see that? I spread the wax on the second stroke, I got that lovely background. And it can happen as quick as that, and you're better off to stop than to try and, I can do better than that. Sometimes if you like what you've done, the thing is, stop. I've overlapped this final candle so that it looks like it's in front of the others, and now I'm just clearing away, using the scribing tool, just clearing away the background colour so that when the flames are put in, using the tip of the iron here, they stay nice and clean. So the colour's burning nice and clean. So I've lit all my candles. It's time to put the wicks in, just to give that final little bit of reality. Just touch these ones up here. And then I'm going to do another clear edge. I quite like these clear edges, so heat and wipe with tissue. I'm sort of used silver to highlight that edge, and then use silver to highlight the wings of the fairy. So you can always wax over stamps. Don't ever forget that, because you can hide the stamp completely. You can just wax over the whole thing. Here I'm going to do part and part. So I've got waxed wings, and I'm going to just leave the rest of the black ink to be a silhouette. I'm just scraping off using the scribing tool to reveal what would naturally be there, and then just doing some veining into the wings to give this final sort of translucent effect to them. Quick polish, you could seal it if you want, so a good thing to do for greetings cards. So here's my little fairy fluttering along, and this is the end of my little Christmas series. So thank you very much for watching, and a Merry Christmas to you all.